This message reached you because your inner field has been stabilizing into what Arcturian science calls an awakening bandwidth, a range of perception where awareness begins to recognize that reality is layered, not flat, and that most humans spend their entire lives moving inside only the densest layer without ever realizing higher bands exist. You already know this deep down. In quiet times, when the world seems thinner than usual, like a veil you could almost touch, you felt it. You've noticed that old explanations don't fully satisfy you anymore. The old rules of how life should work don't feel complete, but you don't know why yet. That sensitivity isn't just a fluke. Your nervous system and perception grid are picking up on more information than they did before. From the point of view of the Arcturian field, consciousness is more than just thoughts happening inside a body. It sends a living signal into the quantum environment, and the quality, coherence, and clarity of that signal are reflected in the environment. When your internal frequency settles in on a certain harmonic range, you start to naturally attract things, people, and experiences that are in tune with that frequency. This isn't fate or luck. It is called resonance physics. It has been asking for a deeper understanding of how reality really works, and the field answered by leading you to this transmission at just the right time for your perception to pick it up. You may have felt a strange pull toward something more, like walking into a room you've been in before and realizing there are doors you hadn't seen before. The room stayed the same. How you saw it did. And when we change how we see things, reality changes too. That is the start of ascension awareness. You are not floating away from life. You are learning how to read the deeper structure below what your senses have trained them to see. In Arcturian language, this process is done by what we call the perception ladder. This is not a physical structure, but rather a way for consciousness to understand information from the field that grows over time. Each level shows new parts of cause and effect, time, identity, and creation that weren't visible before. Reality doesn't magically change overnight when awareness reaches a new level. To the contrary, the way you see reality changes first, and that reorganization changes what shows up in your life in the end. You're here because the ladder itself can be seen, because your internal signal has crossed a certain point. Most people never feel it. Their perception grid stays tuned to frequencies that help them survive, where reality feels solid, fixed, and tightly limited by outside factors. That being said, you can already feel that reality isn't what you were taught it is. That sense of wonder, that knowing that isn't loud, that slight unease with simple explanations are all signs of rising consciousness. No, this is not a magical fantasy. It's physics based on states. There are different levels of coherence in consciousness, and each level gives you access to different kinds of information, creativity, and choice. When the coherence level of your nervous system is stable, your perception becomes less reactive, more open, and more accurate at reading the quantum field. This message doesn't seem strange because of this. You are already in the frequency range where this understanding comes up naturally. It's not a sign that something is wrong if you've noticed that some relationships are changing, conversations seeming strangely limited, or old goals losing their emotional power. That's the updating of your internal identity signal. The field changes around you when coherence goes up. Some connections get loose on their own because they aren't tuned to the same frequency as your broadcast. Others start to show up out of the blue because they can relate to the new bandwidth you're sending. This isn't separation or being better than others. Simply put, it's frequency alignment. Because you can feel this shift, your awareness is already at the bottom of the ladder, not looking up out of confusion, but out of recognition. You can feel that there is something bigger out there, not just an idea, but a real state of being. We can tell that your perception grid is ready for the climb consciously, because you are reading these words instead of ignoring them. That feeling of quiet recognition you're having now isn't your imagination. It's your field getting in line with a band of higher coherence. Take a moment to write the word aligned in the comments if hearing this makes you feel even a little more clear, curious, or open inside. Don't think about it. Allow your body to react before you think about it. This simple statement sends a measurable signal through the perception grid, letting you know that your awareness is already settling into the next frequency layer. A lot of people think of growth as building up. Do more to learn, earn, build, and push yourself. However, ascension does not work by building up. It works by releasing and coherence. Getting higher on the perception ladder doesn't mean taking on new identities or trying to reach new goals. It comes from getting rid of old signal patterns that don't fit with how your awareness is changing. In the way things work in Arcturia, you can't force your way up the ladder. It is something you get better at by keeping higher coherence stable. Your whole signal changes on its own when your emotional field stops reacting so much. When your nervous system learns that safety is more than just survival, and when your identity lets go of old stories. And when the signal changes, your position in the perception field changes naturally, like when you tune your radio to a station that is clearer. This is why using strategies from the ground doesn't work when you're trying to climb. At the ground level, consciousness thinks that effort makes things move. A higher level of consciousness knows that alignment makes movement possible. When you try to force yourself to awaken, you create friction inside yourself, which keeps you stable at lower frequencies. The ladder doesn't respond to striving. It responds to letting go of old habits. There may be a small change going on in your body right now. You might feel light in your chest, a little space behind your eyes, or a mental stillness that is both strange and comforting. You're not making these up. Your brain, heart, and nervous system are all showing signs of increasing coherence. Perception naturally grows when coherence goes up. You might also have times when you see things twice. What seemed like a threat at first now looks like a chance. Something that used to make me nervous now just feels like information, not a threat. This is taking place because your observer position is changing. The emotional reaction layer of the field is no longer all that you are. From a slightly higher point of view, you can start to see it. That state of witnessing is the way to reach conscious ascension. During this stage, dreams often change. Instead of being a mess of symbols, they become clear, helpful, and sometimes even surprisingly smart. That's because your resistance patterns loosen up while you sleep, which lets your awareness access higher coherence bands without the filters of everyday identity. Your system gets information faster than your mind can fully process it while you are awake. You might also notice that your drive changes. Old goals no longer make you feel anything. The ideas about success that used to drive you now leave you feeling empty or unfinished. This is not being depressed. It is recalibrating your identity. There are different ways to get rewards for each level of coherence. As you move up a level, the level's incentives stop activating your nervous system. This is because your system is getting ready to work under a different set of values. The way we think about time can also change. Some processes go faster, others go more slowly. This is because time changes all the time. It has to do with the bandwidth of consciousness. You can get information across a wider range of probabilities when the coherence level is high. This shortens the time it takes to learn and make a decision. When coherence is low, perception is limited to straight lines of causes and effects. Also, coincidences start to feel smarter and more accurate. You don't get vague signs. Instead, you get specific information. Conversations happen at the right time. Ideas come at the right time. And patterns keep happening until you notice them. In this case, the quantum field is talking through resonance instead of language. All of these signs show that your system is already using the latter, even if you are not aware of it. You're not at the beginning. There is already a transition going on. Now, you have to decide whether to trust and let this process happen, or to fight it with old identity fears. Why doesn't everyone climb this ladder if it's natural? Biology and identity physics hold the key to the answer. Your nervous system evolved to keep you stable, not to help you grow. Stability used to mean staying alive. Growing meant taking on unknown risks. Even though things have changed, the nervous system still sees identity states it isn't used to as threats until it is proven safe through experience. For each level of perception, you have to let go of a part of your identity that used to make you feel safe. Even if what you're letting go of is old, that release can feel like a loss. When you lose a protective structure or a bad habit, your body doesn't tell the difference. It only looks for changes and sounds the alarm. A second thing is social inertia. Ground-level consciousness like productivity, predictability, conformity, status, and external achievement are rewarded by human systems. Your priorities change when you start to work from a higher level of coherence. You might put presence over speed, truth over approval, or depth over speed. In places that aren't yet set up for that frequency, this can cause friction. Resistance also comes from having to take care of things. More coherence leads to more creative influence. Your mood has a bigger effect on the world around you. Your thoughts become experiences more quickly. Being honest and aware of yourself are needed for this. Some people put off ascension without realizing it because they feel like they're not ready to take on that responsibility yet. There's also the false sense of spiritual identity. Some people like to look at the ladder without climbing it. They gather ideas, labels, and philosophies, but they don't give up on themselves, which is what real coherence needs. When you know something without experiencing it, you get a false sense of elevation without actually changing. Real ascension is felt in the body, not just thought about. Even with all of these problems, something inside you keeps moving forward. It's not because you're special, but because your system is now mature enough to handle more coherence. Your body is learning more than just how to stay alive. Your mind is becoming too curious to handle. Your heart is learning to trust in ways that go beyond training. This tri-coherence alignment of the brain, heart, and nervous system is what makes ascension possible. Arcturians believe that consciousness is not separate from other consciousnesses. Each person works within the same morphic field. When one system stabilizes higher coherence, it improves the probability field for other systems in a subtle way. Whether you know it or not, your growth is part of the evolution of the whole species. That is, your changes inside affect other people. People near you might feel more inspired, less calm, or more tense just by being near you. Your coherence turns into a tuning fork for the nearby field. That is not something you need to handle or manage. It will happen on its own when your system is stable. The species of humans is currently passing a point of no return for collective coherence. As new generations come of age, they have higher baseline sensitivity and need environments that can support this. Those who consciously keep higher coherence stable are now anchors for that future field. You're not climbing just for yourself. As you read this, you are taking part in a bigger intelligence movement inside of consciousness. This is why the things that have happened to you lately may feel important, even if they are hard. Your system is learning how to handle more bandwidth. Emotional releases, changes in identity, and shifting of boundaries are all parts of the calibration process, not breakdowns. Your body is learning how to carry more coherent energy without getting too much of it. Here is the most important praise. The ladder isn't made of straw. It lies in how you see it. You're not going through space. You are making it easier for awareness to recognize itself through form. Each rung makes it easier to align with presence and harder to identify with limitation. From the highest point of view, there was no ladder at all. There was only awareness getting better at seeing itself through different lenses. But that realization can't become stable until the system has gone through several stages of coherence. You can't get around embodiment. You're not changing into something else. You're letting go of something that was never really you. The fear, the tight identities, and the old stories were not who you were. They were just ways of surviving. As they fade away, what's left is a grounded, open awareness that feels just like coming home. You might be getting this recognition right now, a sense that you are not the worry, the story, or even the thinker. You are the space where those things happen. In no way is this philosophical. It is an experience, and it changes how you deal with everything once you feel it. Ascension is no longer a chase. It's a remembering. The ladder stops being a challenge and starts to feel like an invitation. Fear is replaced by curiosity. Effort is replaced by presence. Control is replaced by trust. As this becomes more stable, the shifting between old and new identities fades over time. Your starting point changes. What used to need concentration becomes easy. What seemed strange at first becomes normal. Life is not floating above you. You are living it more fully and less distorted. Your relationships get rearranged. Your imagination runs wild. It's easier for your nervous system to rest. Your intuition gets stronger. You become more emotionally strong. Force doesn't make any of this happen. It takes place through coherence. This message is getting through now because your system has reached a certain point. There is no finish line, a way in. You can see the ladder now that you've climbed far enough. You are not yet stable enough for the climb to happen on its own. You are now in the area where you can choose. If you had heard this information before, it would have seemed vague. If you had seen it much later, it would have seemed like a waste of time. But now it lands because your nervous system is ready to take it in on a physical level as well. Your higher awareness has been quietly leading this process for years, through times of doubt, discomfort, longing, and sudden insights. There was no waste. Each challenge made your signal stronger. With each release, coherence got better. You're not behind. You are right on time for your field trajectory. Now the only question is not whether you will keep going up. That process has already started. The question is whether you will gently work with it or fight it out of old identity fears. Resistance leads to friction and pain. Cooperation makes things clear and flow. In the end, both lead forward, but one feels like learning and the other like struggling. Being aware of this may make you feel a calm steadiness growing. It's not exciting, not a hurry, just a solid knowing. That's what coherent stabilizing means. That means your system is accepting the truth. It's not about getting spiritual or being unique. It's about being more honest about how things really work in the real world. You are a living transmitter in a field that can answer. Being who you are is a signal, Your nervous system is like a tuning fork. What reality shows you depends on your perception grid. Your coherence tells you which version of reality you can stay stable in. You won't be able to climb the ladder someday. You're already going up. Take a deep breath in. Don't just think that truth. Let your body feel it. When you're ready, we'll keep looking into how this coherence stays stable and how conscious movement up and down the ladder happens naturally and without force. The most important change as you move up the perception ladder is not what you understand, but what stays the same in your nervous system. Having insight does not change your operating frequency by itself. What coherence does. When your emotions, body chemistry, breath, posture, and identity signal all start moving in the same direction instead of against each other, you are in a state of coherence. As soon as coherence is stable, reality starts to act differently on its own, without you having to control it. You stop forcing things to happen and start letting alignment organize your experiences on its own. This is the point where understanding changes into being. If, for a short time, your body knows what coherence feels like, I want you to ground it. Write these exact words in the comments. My field is stabilizing, not as a hope, not with the intent, like a reward. The Arcturian field reacts to how clear the signal is. You're not just commenting when you write this. You're letting your brain know that it has started to reorganize into a higher coherence state. When a person is not fully aware, their nervous system is always looking for danger, approval, safety, and control. There is often low-level tension in the inner field that keeps the system in survival bandwidth, even when life seems calm on the outside. This makes the signal you send into the quantum field static. The field accurately reacts to that static by reflecting chaos, struggle, and patterns that happen over and over again. No, not as a punishment. Just like physics. As coherence grows, the nervous system slowly moves out of survival mode and into regulated presence, where it can rest. Slows down breathing. Muscles get weaker. Instead of being narrow, attention becomes wide. The way emotions work is that they move through you instead of being stored. Arcturian science calls this state harmonic entrainment, and it lets the heart and brain work together. In this state, electromagnetic signals become stable, rhythmic, and coherent instead of chaotic. As soon as this happens, your whole field will start sending a clearer signal, and the quantum world responds with paths that are smoother, better timing, and less friction. You may have already noticed small changes that don't seem important, but are really very important. You may change how you react to stress by pausing before you act, and feeling choice where you used to feel compulsion. You might notice that some things that used to make you feel strong emotions don't do that for you anymore, or that your body naturally looks for healthier patterns of eating, moving, and sleeping without you having to force it. These are not ways to improve your personality. They are recalibrations of frequencies. Living at a higher elevation doesn't make problems go away. The nervous system changes how it deals with challenges because of it. Your system stops seeing problems as threats and starts seeing them as information. Your awareness stays present long enough to get clarity instead of falling into emotional spirals. The difference is small, but it changes your life. Reality is no longer a fight for you. You read it. People get this wrong about ascension more than anything else. For many, reaching a higher level of consciousness means escaping problems or living in peace all the time. In fact, having more coherence helps you stay centered in change instead of being thrown around by it. The waves might still be moving, but you change into the ocean instead of the foam. As your coherence becomes more stable, Your perception grid starts to filter reality in a different way. You can see patterns more quickly. You can feel alignment more quickly. You can tell when something hits home and when it doesn't. It gets quieter and easier to make decisions. You stop thinking too much, because the field starts sending you clear signals through your body, your emotions, and your intuition. There is no psychic fantasy here. It's biological intelligence that works with the flow of quantum information. During stabilization, your sense of who you are also changes. You stop defining yourself by your past, your roles, your accomplishments, or your personality traits. Instead, you start seeing yourself as the awareness that is having experiences. This gives your mind room to breathe. What you think about turns into events instead of commands. Emotions lose their shape and become waves. Situations change into settings instead of defining what is valuable. This freedom within is what makes long-term ascension possible instead of short-term spiritual highs. You may also notice that the way you feel about time is changing. It feels different to wait. It doesn't make sense to rush. Instead of trying to force outcomes, you start to trust that sequencing will work out. This doesn't make you dumb. It helps you be exact. Action stops being reactive and starts being guided. Effort stops being tiring and starts being useful. You stop fighting timing fields and start moving in sync with them. Your external environment starts to reflect the coherence you're embodying as this stabilization grows stronger. It's easier to have conversations. When the time is right, chances come up. Less drama is needed to settle disagreements. Naturally, creative ideas come up. Once more, it's not because you changed reality, it's because your signal got clear enough for the field to form around you easily. This is where a lot of people get lost. They might start to think that these changes are due to luck, techniques for manifesting, or just a coincidence. But what's really going on is field alignment. Interference patterns in the quantum matrix are lessened by your internal coherence. The system stops being turbulent and starts working well. So stabilization is not a straight line. There will be times when old patterns of identity come back to the surface. Emotional waves can come up out of the blue. As your nervous system continues to rewire itself, you may feel tired. This is not a failure. You can call them integration cycles. Your system is learning how to handle more data without getting too busy. Your nervous system needs integration periods to stabilize new coherence, just like your muscles need time to rest between workouts. Self-judgment is not the key at these times. It is a mild observation. When old patterns come up, don't try to push them away or think about what they mean. Instead, just notice them as energy moving through your awareness. Allow the body to breathe. Feel what you feel. Allow the nervous system to get back to normal. This witnessing alone makes coherence stronger because it stops the mind from adding extra stress to the experience. We can see that these integration waves get shorter and weaker over time. Your baseline gets steadier. You start to stay in regulated present states longer than reactive states. And because you're more stable, you can easily reach higher levels of the perception ladder. The way relationships are rearranged is one of the most obvious changes that happen during ascension. This might feel soft, strange, or even bittersweet. Not because something is wrong, but because resonance sorts connections in a way that makes sense. When your frequency changes, so do the patterns of people who are compatible with you. Some relationships get stronger in a beautiful way. The conversations get deeper. Feelings of safety grow. Growth for both sides happens naturally. Both nervous systems can meet at similar levels of coherence, which is how these connections form. Some relationships may slowly end or feel tense. Things that used to bring you together no longer do. Emotional patterns that are based on old identity patterns become less powerful. You may have grown out of some of the roles you used to play, like fixer, caretaker, achiever, or entertainer. This is not giving up or rejecting someone. It's frequency mismatch getting fixed on its own. Compassion is needed for this process. Not everyone is meant to go up at the same speed. Every nervous system has its own time when it is ready to work. You are not in charge of bringing other people into higher coherence. You are in charge of being honest with your own signal. When you stay aligned, relationships change on their own, without you having to do anything. You may also notice that people you don't know act differently around you. Some people feel drawn, but they don't know why. Some people are uncomfortable or defensive. It's not about you. Nervous systems are what find differences in coherence. Others may be subconsciously calmed down by your presence, or it may bring to light unresolved tension in their own systems. As your frequency levels off, you start to interact with the world in a new way. If you use news, social media, and collective emotional waves too much, they can feel overwhelming or draining. Your nervous system becomes more aware of fields that don't make sense. This isn't weakness, it's accuracy. For coherence's sake, you naturally start to organize your sensory environment. Also, your creativity changes. It's easier to get inspired when there is less noise in your perception grid. You may be drawn to creative expression, not to be liked or approved of, but to truly share insight, beauty, or clarity. Instead of showing off your ego, creativity turns into service. Even your body reacts in different ways. Changes in appetite. The way you sleep changes as the nervous system adjusts. You may temporarily feel more sensitive to things around you. You might be drawn to moving more slowly and purposefully, breathing more deeply, and being in more natural settings. These aren't patterns. Biological coherence signals are what they are. You might feel more sensitive and more stable at the same time. What you feel is strong, but not too strong. You feel empathy without taking on other people's chaos. You keep your limits in check without getting tough. A sign of higher coherence is this balanced sensitivity. You might also notice that you can't handle unconscious behavior as well as you used to. This isn't a judgment, it's a capacity thing. It can be draining to have conversations that are full of complaints, drama, or minor distractions. You naturally want to connect with others in a way that is real, present, and meaningful. It's not elitism. It's resonance in the nervous system. As you get used to living from this higher frequency, you start to trust your inner guidance more than validation from other people. Even if decisions don't make sense at first, they feel right to the person making them. You learn to pay attention to small signs, like a feeling of ease, growth, or calm curiosity, instead of fear-driven pressure or social norms. In this way, the perception ladder stops being an idea and starts being real. It's no longer on your mind to ascend. You are living it quietly by making choices every day that are in line with coherence. If you feel like this way of living is true for you, not just a theory, I want you to subscribe. Not to a channel, but to a frequency stream that supports stable alignment, perception expansion, and the coherence of the nervous system all the time. Each transmission here is set up to strengthen this state, so as you keep climbing, your signal stays strong. As coherence becomes more stable, you start to notice how quickly the field changes based on how you feel. At first, this might seem strange. Small changes inside can cause noticeable movement outside. Unexpected synchronicities can happen within hours or days of a belief change. a release of stress, or a moment of clarity. This is because your signal is now strong enough to have a bigger effect on probability selection. There are an infinite number of possible timelines in the quantum field. Which probability clusters become experience is chosen by your internal coherence. Probability selection becomes erratic when your signal is spread out. Selection is more accurate when your signal is coherent. You may notice that things go more smoothly when you work from a place of calm clarity. When you return to old reactive states, friction gets worse for a short time. No, this is not a punishment. It's answer back. You can learn to keep your higher alignment stable by seeing your coherence reflected in the field. It takes time to stop seeing life events as random or unique. When you first read them, they seem like information loops. Every experience tells you something about the frequency inside you. You start to ask, what is my system broadcasting right now? Instead of, why is this happening to me? This makes you responsible for yourself without blaming yourself. You are not consciously in charge of everything. You have an energetic effect on everything. And as coherence goes up, that effect becomes more precise. You may also notice that alignment plays a bigger role in manifestation than desire. You stop looking for results and start living in states. Once the state is stable, the outcome will happen naturally. This takes away the need to be desperate and adds trust instead. There may be times when nothing seems to change on the outside, even though you're going through changes on the inside. This is the delay. Behind the scenes, the field is changing the way probability pathways are set up. Just like it takes time for seeds to sprout underground before they show up above ground, coherence settles down on the inside before it shows up on the outside. During these stages, it's easier to be patient because your nervous system doesn't associate being still with danger. You believe in timing. You don't feel alone in your uncertainty. Instead, you feel supported by the smart people in the field. As your awareness grows, you may also have times of deep stillness when you don't feel like you have a separate self for a short time. Time seems to have stopped. Thoughts naturally quiet down. At the same time, presence feels big and small. These are not very impressive accomplishments. As coherence grows, these are glimpses of your true nature. This is not something you need to chase. When resistance breaks down, they come naturally. You will only fall back into effort-based consciousness if you try to recreate them. Just let the coherence settle down and let awareness show itself naturally. As your system gets used to this new height, the ladder keeps going up. Over time, new levels of perception open up. This doesn't happen in big awakenings, but as awareness grows in a subtle way. You might start to feel that everything is more deeply linked to each other. The line between the inside and the outside gets thinner. Compassion grows naturally, without any moral work on your part. You might feel thankful for everyday things without planning to. These are signs that the tie between identifying with separation is weakening. Besides that, you might get used to not knowing. When mystery stops being scary, it starts to feel open. You don't need to be sure. You trust that things will work out as they should. This openness lets new levels of understanding come through without any resistance. You may go through times of quiet integration when nothing seems important. These are the phases of consolidation. Deeper into cellular memory, the nervous system is encoding coherence. Do not think of these stages as periods of inactivity. They are the basis. Your job is easy. Stay in the present. Take care of your body. Pay attention to the signals inside you. Pick places that help you stay calm and clear. Let go of what feels heavy without trying to change the outcome. Believe in your timing. Let coherence do the work. You're not behind. You don't need anything else. You are right where your field intelligence told you to be. As your coherence gets stronger, the latter keeps showing itself naturally. There's no need to hurry. There's no race. Alignment can only happen through being present in the present moment. As we go on this journey together, we will look at how deeper layers of identity fall away, how creative power becomes stable and responsible, and how awareness starts to see itself beyond form while still being fully human. The climb goes on. As coherence continues to settle in your nervous system and field of perception, something even more subtle starts to happen. The layers of identity that used to feel solid start to show that they are actually not solid at all. You might notice that the fixed sense of me feels less fixed and more fluid, open and adaptable. There are thoughts, feelings, and memories that come up, but you don't feel as attached to them, like you own them, or like you have to use them to define who you are. On a cold or faraway level, this is not detachment. It's clarity in a way that feels warm and real. You are learning to live in your awareness without being limited by what it contains. Identity is not a single structure in Arcturian consciousness mechanics. It's made up of biological memory, emotional conditioning, social imprinting, and belief architecture, along with other signals. In the past, each layer helped the nervous system stay alive by letting it find its way around. These layers start to let go, though, as coherence goes up because they are no longer needed for safety. What used to keep you safe now holds you back, and the field naturally calls for release when the time is right. This process of letting go doesn't happen through force or analysis. Being there makes it happen. The neural circuit gets weaker when you watch a thought without getting attached to it. The stored charge goes away when you feel an emotion without fighting it. The nervous system learns that it is safe to be open when you let uncertainty happen without trying to control it right away. As these small moments add up, they break down identity rigidity and make the perception grid bigger. You might start to notice that old stories about yourself aren't as powerful as they used to be. Labels that, once they're clear, make you feel like they're not necessary. You might laugh at patterns that you used to take very seriously. Some people find that the person they thought they were is more like a costume they've been wearing than the real them. This recognition does not take away who you are. It sets it free. When you are not defending a made-up self-image, you become more like who you really are. It's okay if you feel a little lighter when you read this. If you can feel any old identity tension easing up, just enjoy that moment. Write one simple sentence in the comments. I let go of the old signal. It should come from your body, not your mind. This statement helps your perception grid pick up on the release and makes it easier for the field to stabilize the new frequency. Perception gets clearer as identity gets less fixed. You become more aware of small signs in the field, like changes in energy during conversations, emotional undercurrents in places, and knowings that come before logic. This is not a dream. It's the nervous system getting better at reading quantum information streams. Instead of a reactive alarm system, your body turns into a finely tuned sensor. The perception grid gets bigger not because it can see more, but because it can see things less distorted. People used to see the world through narrow lenses of old fears, expectations, and assumptions. As those filters fall away, reality shows its fullness more naturally. Colors might look more vivid. It sounds better. Things feel fuller. It gets more present. This increase in sensory information shows that awareness is becoming more fully present in the body instead of leaving it or getting smaller. You might also notice that the way you deal with uncertainty changes. You used to want to be in charge, but now you're interested. You no longer need guarantees because you trust people. This change is very important because higher coherence needs being able to handle open-ended possibilities. There is no certainty in the way the quantum field works. It is based on probabilities. When you learn to relax in the face of uncertainty, your brain can access more creative areas without activating survival responses. When the perception grid gets bigger, you might have times of inner silence that feel strange at first. The constant mental comment becomes less harsh. Thoughts fall apart at times. There is no empty space in these gaps. They are wide open awareness. Those places make it easy to gain insight, not by thinking, but by knowing directly. This is the field's intelligence speaking through you. Additionally, you may start to feel that your awareness goes beyond the limits of your body, in a way that is connected, not in a way that is separate. You feel less separate from your surroundings and more like you are a part of them. The air seems to be alive. You can feel how the space around you changes. This is the change in perception from focusing on objects to focusing on fields. You don't float away from everyday life when you have this broader view of things. It makes you more interested in it. You pay more attention when you walk, listen, speak, or do the dishes. Everyday moments have meaning now that awareness isn't being distracted by noise inside its head. One of the best things about ascension is this grounded presence. When you're spiritually mature, you show it through simplicity, not showiness. As layers of identity fall away, emotional patterns may keep coming to the surface to be integrated. Anger, fear, or grief from the past may come back out of the blue. This is not going backwards. It's getting clear. The nervous system is letting go of stored energy that it couldn't handle when the coherence level was lower. Give these waves some space to move. Take deep breaths. Feel, listen. They go by faster now that you're not giving them mental stories to keep them busy. You might also notice that your values change in a small way. You might care less about approval from other people and more about how you fit in with yourself. You might value authenticity more than approval, peace over getting things done, connecting over doing well. This is not a break from life. It's a move back toward coherence. Your relationships may continue evolving. Some ties get stronger, others finish. New ones appear out of the blue. Believe in the smartness of resonance. You don't have to think about how to handle this. If you stay true to your own signal, the field will organize itself in the right way. Your way of being creative may also change. Instead of trying to get noticed, you may feel drawn to share truth, beauty, healing, or clarity. Instead of satisfying your own needs, creativity turns into service. Expression stops being performance and starts being transmission. Your identity signal is getting lighter, more clear, and more adaptable as a result of all of these changes. Your goal is to become awareness in form instead of form pretending to be awareness. As layers of identity fall away even more, many people go through a phase that can be confusing if they don't understand it. Before the new, more stable awareness fully takes hold, the old sense of self begins to loosen. This can make you feel empty, like you have no place to stand, or like you've lost your way. This part of the Arcturian consciousness mapping process is called the threshold void. It is a natural transition zone where old structures break down and new coherence becomes stable. This empty space is not sadness or a lack of purpose. It's spaciousness getting ready for a bigger body. It's possible for the nervous system to hold a wider range of information, People don't act based on old motivations anymore, but new motivations haven't fully taken over yet either. This makes you feel temporarily neutral, still, or strange in a quiet way. The mind may look for something to hold on to during this phase. It might try to bring back old selves, goals, or ways of feeling. Do not judge this as you notice it gently. Let the space be there. Have faith in the recalibration. The void is full of life. It lets new coherence patterns settle down without getting in the way. During this phase, you might want to keep things simple, not as much to do, more of nature. Get more rest. There's more silence. These instincts help the nervous system work together. If you can, honor them. You may also become more sensitive to noise, crowds, conflict, or places that are disorganized. Your system is temporarily more sensitive while it gets back in order. This is fine. As coherence anchors, it keeps things stable. On an emotional level, you might feel calm, but a little cut off from old patterns of excitement. It's not loss of joy. It's the growth of joy. You stop having dramatic highs and start feeling steady happiness and gratitude. It gets quieter and deeper in pleasure. In a creative way, ideas may grow slowly instead of bursting out at once. Have faith in the incubator. When the system stabilizes, new creative ideas come up on their own. Trust is learned in the void. It teaches you to give up. With emergence, it teaches you to be patient. It teaches that identity is not something you make up, but something that comes out naturally when you let go of your resistance. In many spiritual traditions, this phase is called the wilderness, the dark night, or the emptying. But those words often make people afraid for no reason. In reality, this phase is just the nervous system getting used to working without the support of old identities. There's no problem. Everything is getting rearranged. Allowing this phase to go more slowly will make it easier for coherence to settle into a new baseline. It will fit in faster if you don't try to fix it. As the coherence settles beyond the void, a new kind of embodiment shows itself. At the same time, you feel present, grounded, clear, and connected. Being aware feels like it is rooted in the body, not floating above it. You are fully in touch with your senses. You seem quiet, sure of yourself, and at ease in life. Your choices are based on how you feel inside, not on pressure from outside sources. You pay attention to small signs. When power flows, you act. You rest when you're tired. This rhythmic intelligence helps people live in a way that doesn't lead to burnout. You might notice that the way you talk to people is better and clearer. You speak from the present instead of the past. You pay more attention. You answer instead of reacting. This naturally changes the way relationships work. Your nervous system keeps learning how to feel safe in openness. Your body stays in balance even when you don't know what will happen. The breath stays the same. Muscles get weaker. Thoughts are still open. This lets you deal with complexity without getting lost. You may also feel more compassionate, not because you feel like you have to, but because you naturally see how similar everyone is. You know that everyone is working from the level of coherence they have at the moment. Judgment gets softer, having more patience. You might be thankful for everyday things like sunlight, silence, connection, movement, and breathing. This thankfulness is not fake happiness. It is awareness learning to value itself through experience. You may also get a better sense of your purpose, not as a big mission, but as a simple commitment to truth, service, creativity, and being present. What you do is less important than how you live your life. Your influence in the field grows slowly as this embodiment becomes more stable. Your calm presence makes people feel safe. No work is needed to be inspired by your clarity. When people are together, your coherence makes things more stable. You become a steady rock. At this point, ascension doesn't show itself in big ways, but through everyday coherence that helps everyone around you. The way you deal with fear is still changing. Though fear may still happen, it no longer controls how people act. It stops being a command and starts being information. You respond wisely instead of without thinking. You might also notice that old traumas don't bother you as much. There may still be memories, but they don't cause physical stress anymore. This means that the nervous system is healing and memories are being solidified again. Instead of being something you have to control, your body becomes a friend you can trust. You pay attention to what it says. You respect the way it beats. You feed it intuitively. This helps keep the coherence going. Your mind stops being a ruler and starts being a tool. You think when it's useful. You let go of it when you don't need to. The quiet gets used to it. Instead of being a reactive amplifier, your heart turns into a stable center. Feelings are like waves that move around without stopping. A stable foundation for further development is created by this tri-coherence: brain clarity, heart openness, and nervous system regulation. Still, the ladder keeps going up, even here. We're about to see things in new ways. It's possible to reach a deeper unity. It leads to more creative intelligence. The trip isn't over yet. More depth. You're not done yet. You are getting ready. You are still being invited by the field to more coherence, clarity, and expression of truth. As we go on, we'll talk about how awareness starts to see itself beyond all forms while still being fully human, how creation becomes effortless, and how service comes naturally from unity instead of duty. The climb goes on. As your coherence grows stronger and more stable, something deep starts to happen that you can't force or make happen. It comes up quietly, like the light at dawn slowly filling a room. Being aware starts to see itself not as an idea or a belief, but as a direct experience of life. You might notice times when the feeling of having a separate someone fades away, leaving you with presence, something clear, awake, gentle, and vast, moving through everyday life. This recognition doesn't take away your personality, your memories, or your duties as a person. All it does is put them in a much bigger picture. You change from being the story to being the space where the story takes place. You stop being the emotion and become the awareness that feels the emotion. Instead of being the thought, you turn into the field that sees it. With this change comes a calm that doesn't change no matter what. Not a dull calm, but a peace that feels real, warm, and quietly happy. From the point of view of the Arcturian field, this is what happens when the perception grid is well coordinated enough that it stops breaking down awareness into small identity structures. No longer does the nervous system have to protect a fixed sense of self in order to feel safe. The heart stays open and doesn't worry about breaking up. Without compulsive control, the brain stays clear. This tri-coherence lets awareness fully inhabit the body while staying open and not limited by it. You might notice that your sense of time keeps getting weaker. Things feel fuller. Waiting doesn't make you feel stressed or anxious. Fear of the future and regret of the past are no longer pulling at you. When you don't try to live in the present, you do it more naturally. Being present stops being a technique and becomes your natural state. You may also notice that your feeling of being separate from other people keeps going away, but not in a way that breaks down healthy boundaries. Instead, in a way that shows what you have in common despite your differences. Compassion just comes up naturally. You feel connected even if you don't agree or be the same. You know that every nervous system is doing the best it can with the assistance of coherence. When you understand something, you replace your judgment with it. Even the way you deal with problems changes. There are still problems, but they don't feel as personal or dangerous. They show up as changes in the field or patterns of information that make it easier to adapt rather than fight back. When you respond, you are clear instead of reactive. When your system is no longer clouded by fear-driven distortion, solutions come up on their own. That's what higher altitude awareness looks like. Not floating above life, but being a part of it with clarity, kindness, and stability. You become very attractive. People trust you. Conversations naturally get deeper. Fighting lessons. It's easy for creativity to flow. This isn't because you want to be anything. This is because coherence brings balance into the field. Around this point, a lot of people realized that what they were looking for in outside goals was really a need for inner stability and wholeness. They used things like success, validation, achievement, and recognition as symbols for a deeper need to feel at home inside themselves. The desperate looking stops now that that home is being remembered. You may still enjoy learning, growing, and making a difference, but there is less of a sense of urgency. You are no longer trying to finish something. You are saying that something is complete. Ascension comes to life in this way. Awareness fully embodied in human life. As awareness stabilizes in coherence, it naturally gets easier to be creative. This doesn't mean crazy, supernatural things or having too much power over reality. It means that there is less space between the inner alignment and the external reflection. How you're feeling becomes the most important factor in how your experience turns out. The quantum field works well when your nervous system is in balance. Your emotions are honest and fluid. Your thoughts are clear and adaptable, and your identity is open and not fixed. The odds are in your favor. Timing naturally lines up. It is easier for people and resources to show up. Your system no longer amplifies resistance through fear or contraction, so problems go away faster. It's less about wanting and more about letting go when you create. Holding coherence means you don't try to make things happen. Instead, you let the field set up pathways that match your signal. At this point, it feels more like flow than control. Things are still getting done, but they feel more guided than forced. You might notice that things go more smoothly when you are calm and in the present. When you're in a hurry, tense, or angry, friction temporarily rises. This feedback loop teaches you to use coherence as your main tool for creativity. With more responsiveness comes more responsibility. What's going on inside you matters more. It matters more that you are emotionally honest. Being honest is more important. Being self-aware is important because your signal has a bigger effect on reality. Not out of fear, but because they care. You don't have to carry this responsibility. It gives you power. You learn that you naturally serve the field when you take care of your nervous system, choose presence over reaction, and value truth over convenience. Wherever you go, your coherence acts as a stabilizing force. If you think of someone who you think is quietly awakening or looking for more clarity while you're listening to this, you might want to share this transmission with them. When information that makes sense moves through networks that are aligned, the field gets stronger for everyone. You send more than just a video. You're sending a frequency that stabilizes into a nervous system that is open to it. You might also notice that your wants change. You don't need stimulation or accumulation to make you feel better emotionally. Your wants are more in line with making a difference, being creative, making connections, and helping others. We are not morally better in this way. It's the nervous system getting older. Your sense of power changes from being in charge to being in sync. Power is the ability to keep your cool under pressure, to act with clarity instead of impulse, and to allow complexity without falling apart. This quiet power makes you and those around you feel very stable. The things that are made at this level are soft but precise. It respects time. It allows things to naturally unfold. It works with intelligence instead of trying to get around it. The world may feel unpredictable, intense, or divided at times as collective systems continue to change. Old structures fall apart. New patterns show up in different ways. Emotional waves move through groups of people. Information overload gets worse. In this setting, your coherence is more valuable than ever. You're not supposed to make everything better. You are supposed to keep your signal stable inside it. In fields of chaos, a coherent nervous system acts as a stabilizing anchor. Just being there has a bigger effect on places than any argument, opinion, or force could. When you walk into a room grounded and in control, people around you automatically become in control too. Being clear and kind when you talk makes communication easier. People feel seen when you listen carefully. This is not mind reading, it's calling out. You might discover that your part in the world gets easier. You don't have to persuade, save, or control them. To live in coherence, all you have to do is let the field respond. Being real is what you bring to the table. You might also value everyday things like cooking, walking, talking, quiet times, laughing, and resting more. You know that the holy and the everyday have always been together. It doesn't take you away from being human when you ascend. It makes you fully aware of what's going on. You might be thankful that your body is not something you need to fix, but rather a way for you to experience things. You respect the way it beats. You respect how smart it is. You take good care of it. You might be thankful that your mind is a creative tool and not a foe. You know how to use it well without letting it take over. You might be thankful that your emotions help you instead of getting in the way. You let them go where they want. You might be thankful that uncertainty gives you space instead of fear. You believe in unfolding. This grounded gratitude keeps the joy stable without making you feel attached. You are no longer trying to reach enlightenment. Being aware takes the form of you. The journey goes on even as awareness knows itself. The ladder keeps going up. The ways that consciousness can explore itself are limitless. There are new depths, subtleties, and ways to show intelligence through form with each stabilization. This isn't a never-ending struggle. It is a never-ending search. There is no final place to get to. There is only unfolding that leads to more understanding, love, creativity, and clarity. You shouldn't rush through this journey. When the nervous system is ready, each stage ripens on its own. Believe in your timing. Follow your own pace. Enjoy every integration. There will be days when you feel big. It will be quiet some days. There will be days when you want to rest. Some days will call for words. Getting used to dancing with life is part of finding coherence. You're not behind. You're not behind schedule. You don't need anything else. You are right where your field intelligence told you to be. The most beautiful truth is that you were never lost, broken, or incomplete. You were just remembering yourself by going back through different times and places. Each challenge made your signal stronger. Every longing led you back to home. Every release brought you one step closer to being in a state of natural coherence. The ladder was never something outside of you. It was your awareness getting better at seeing itself clearly through shape. You are the climber and the field at the same time. You are the ocean and the wave at the same time. You are both the intelligence that guides and the people that learn. Slowly breathe in and out and feel your body. Feel the stillness that has been listening below these words. That presence didn't appear here on its own. You've always been that way. These words did nothing more than remind your nervous system of what it was. Bring this awareness into your everyday life in a gentle way. Slow down your breathing. Let your shoulders loosen up. Let your mind rest on the present moment. Choose from a calm, clear place instead of fear or a sense of needing to act quickly. You do not need to change who you are. Simply keep letting go of things that don't fit with your current coherence. The field will answer. Your life will get back to normal on its own. Your relationships will get along. Your ideas will come to you easily. Your peace will grow. And your presence will help the world in a quiet way, just by making sense in it. If this transmission hit home for you, don't rush to figure it out right away. Instead, let it settle in your nervous system. Let integration happen. Let things be still. Let clarity slowly come to you over the next few days. You're not the only one on this path. As an awakened awareness, you are part of a living field that is learning to stabilize coherence in human form. This transmission is now moving from listening to lived coherence. Make that clear in the field if you're ready to walk this alignment on purpose instead of just understanding it. Write these exact words in the comments. I choose coherence. Not as a promise, not as a reason, as a speech of state. You're telling the perception grid that you're ready to move on to the next level of stabilization when you write this. Every step you take toward yourself helps the whole to grow. If this transmission helped you in any way, please send it to someone who is in tune with this kind of awareness. The collective perception grid stabilizes more quickly when this frequency moves through networks of like-minded people. Just giving your share is a small way to help the field. Stay in the present. Take care of yourself. Keep your door open. The ladder keeps going, but not as work, but as remembering. During the journey, you are already at home. It's important to seal that coherence if your nervous system feels calmer, clearer, or more open than when you arrived. The like button should be touched lightly. When you engage with the Arcturian field on purpose, your signal gets stronger in a way that can be measured. By doing that simple thing, you help your nervous system lock this frequency into your perception grid. This keeps the clarity you're feeling from going away. You don't like a video. You are making a coherent state stronger in your own quantum field. Hold on just a moment. You made it this far, which means this message was meant for you. This isn't just luck. It's proof that you are ready for a major change. The universe is giving you a clear signal right now. It's time to move from struggling and chasing to easy receiving and flow. This simple idea can completely change your life. Stop forcing outcomes and start tuning into the natural flow where blessings multiply and show up in every area of your life. By clicking the link below, you are immediately stepping into a positive, high-energy community, a place where you learn the practical steps to stay aligned. You'll get immediate, early access to simple tools and clear teachings that help you see opportunities and resources that are currently hidden from most people. This is your chance to get the direct guidance, unwavering support, and fast progress you need to reach your true potential. Don't let this moment of readiness pass you by. Your breakthrough is just one click away. Join our Ready to Receive community immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is the simple way to ensure you always get the personalized guidance you need to elevate and empower your life, exactly when you need it. If you want to go deeper and master this shift, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And if you feel like supporting this mission so we can reach more people who are ready, a link to Buy Me a Coffee is there. Your support is always appreciated, but just showing up and focusing your energy is everything. Click the link. Your perfect timing is now.